In 48 hours or so, our country will go in an entirely different direction, with one of the candidates, Kamala Harris or Donald J. Trump, being the president of the United States. And there's been a lot of tension about who is suited for this role. Tonight, we're going to have a thoughtful debate about it, and especially about the issues. We're going to try to refrain from any personal attacks, although Sam's clothes is really not appropriate for tonight. But we are going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to talk about really important issues because the idea is to understand each other, why we think the way we do, and hopefully by that, maybe move the common ground a little further and agree to disagree on things we can't agree on. So let's begin. So, Sam,
Hey, bud, how we doing?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling comfortable. I think we're going to do okay
Okay.
from my side on Tuesday night. And because, well, my biggest thing is what the country's doing now. The idea that inflation has hurt so many of my friends and interest rates have hurt so many of my friends. Now, for a person who has means, it doesn't hurt them. But for the people in the inner city, the people that are struggling, people interested, they can't buy homes, they can do it, and it's devastating.
I know.
And to me, it's very simple why this has occurred. It has occurred because the one item that causes everything to flow has gone up, and that is oil and gas. And the reason it went up is because we stopped the pipeline. We stopped oil and gas from coming. Wait, let me finish my point. We stopped oil and gas. We bought oil and gas from other countries instead of bringing our own in. And in a sense, I know this quote, Green New Deal type thing, all this environment stuff. But the point of the matter is, it went up more. All the carbon emissions probably went up more because when you transport gas and oil by a big cargo boat to the United States, it is much more energy inefficient than using a pipeline. And that caused all the price to go up because everything that is made comes from us by transportation. And this didn't have to happen.
Okay. I hear that argument. Sounds like a great argument for more green energy. Because it sounds like you really want to move away from oil then. Because if the price of oil just keeps going up and decimating your inflation and making you pay more, then it sounds like you should have more green energy. Because more green energy would bring your costs down everywhere across the board.
So, Sam, good point. But that's not the point. Because our gas prices were low when Trump was president. Because what they
Because
did.
of the pandemic.
No,
Because the gas
wait,
prices were low because that's basic supply and demand, right?
well,
People aren't driving during the pandemic
well,
because they're forced to
let
stay
me say,
home, right?
I'm sure point. Thank you.
Sure.
When he was president, he allowed gas drilling to occur in certain areas that weren't allowed.
Mm-hmm.
He allowed the pipeline, which all these presidents said, to allow it to come down much faster, finish point, to come through. He allowed us to build up our supply of so we are energy efficient. Matter of fact, we were so energy efficient that we were exporting.
I'm sorry. Do you mind if I just interject 1 second?
You can
Are
interject.
are you aware that we're producing more oil than we've ever produced in our nation's history right now
The idea
under Biden?
the idea,
So
yeah, what
that
happened at the
means
end of the
that
administration.
that means that your argument is mute.
No, it's not really because the idea again, it was happening late in the ball game. Didn't happen. It's like the same thing when we're talking about the illegal immigrants. All of a sudden now they're going to make the wall. They're going to do all this stuff. They weren't doing it for the last 3 years. All of a sudden doing it. So when he first came to office, the first thing he did is got rid of the pipeline. Well, you look at the show. He got rid of the pipeline that was getting oil through, which made the horrible incident. I think it was I'm not as good at numbers here, but that horrible where the train crashed and the whole thing.
In East Palestine, yeah.
Thank you. And it was caused by us not transporting these fuels through a pipeline. Instead, we used railroad cars that were inefficient and caused more greencasting. And it was such a problem. We didn't do anything about it. And that was one of the major problems. And again, there's an example where government was like letting these people die in this area. Nobody even cared about them because it's like, quote, the Midwest. There was nothing done about helping those people out. They suffered so much. We didn't investigate it.
So the government did come in, they did investigate East Palestine, and they did clean that up.
Oh,
I agree with you that the transportation method of the oil on the trains is sorely insufficient. Not just is that not the right way to transport that, but also the trains are understaffed, they're too long, they're too heavy, they are cost-wise ineffective. So, I mean, I would generally agree with you on the efficiency point there. But again, this still brings me back to green energy. That would be much safer if we had light rail.
If you look at my personal life, I'm probably more green efficient than most people out there. I have a Tesla car. I have solar light. I have solar panels. I have a solar generator. Let me get your point.
No,
I have nothing. I have nothing against it. I have nothing against green energy in any way at all. But we have to be realistic about it in how things are made. When you're getting solar panels, if they're coming from China, it's not making the country any better.
So
wait, let me finish one, please. Thank you. If we're doing windmills and we're killing the birds and all the animals, we're not doing anything with the environment. Well, a lot of birds fly these windmills and stuff like that. We're not doing anything. If you really want green energy to work, you know what the best green energy is? Nuclear. Right.
Yes.
And we have not developed any nuclear plants basically in the last, and that's what,
Because
it's
there's
ridiculous.
a stigma around it.
Right. And so if we really, the Donald Trump says he's going to build more nuclear power plants. He's going to build. He's not against.
Donald Trump says a lot of
he's
things.
not.
He also said that he would build a wall that Mexico would pay for, and they didn't do that.
Well,
he didn't build
they
a wall.
did. Well, I would say
So I mean,
well, you know what? President Trump is one of the few presidents that actually said he's going to do things and things happen. I'll give you a couple
Sure.
really amazing examples.
Sure.
And this is Republicans and Democrats.
Sure.
Oh, I'm going to go back. Everybody said they're going to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
Yes.
They all did. But you know who the president did it?
And
Donald Trump. Wait, Donald Trump.
And now we have the war
hold on.
in Israel.
Hold on. Donald Trump was the one that did that.
Yes.
He also said
actually,
wait.
Jared Kushner did that.
No,
because
he's the
was
president of the United
supposed to be
States.
in
He
the
did
Middle
that.
East, right?
He
But-
said he was going to do that, and he did that.
Yes.
He said he was going to bring the idea that medicine, that if you're really sick, you can
Can
try
we stay on one topic at a time? You're listing off multiple topics at a time. I would like to respond to each point that you're making, and you're going through a list of topics.
Back.
Thanks.
We are going on too many topics at the same time. You can't just roll into one topic to the other topic. So
I'm
now
interjecting.
no, you can't. You can't interject the moderator. You can't interject the moderator because I work with all people equally as long as they pay me.
Excuse me.
So now.
Wait. I'm sorry.
Penalty.
No, it's no penalty.
Penalty.
It's no penalty. No, there's no penalty. The gentleman Sam has told me that Trump did not. He says he's going to do something.
This isn't about what you're saying. This is the rules of the game.
Sam said.
You're
Wait,
not
excuse
paying
me.
the
No,
rules, you're not playing
excuse
the
me.
game.
Sam said that Trump says he's going to do something, and he doesn't do it. And I was giving specific examples why that was not true. That was just one. So you just want to give one, then that's not really making debate. So I was going to give several examples.
No,
I was answering his question.
I think that's a great.
It was about moving from topic to topic.
No, but I was answering his question.
This
question.
I think you're.
I think this is an ABC debate. Would you like to debate me too?
I'm reining it back for both of you. We're going to start by topic instead of going from windmills to Israel right away.
Well,
thank you.
Is that okay?
No, not really, because I wanted to answer Sam's question. Can I finish Sam's question, please?
No, we're gonna roll it back.
Give me like 2 minutes. Now, let me like 1 minute to answer the question. That's not really fair. So I'm going to do this fair.
Well, okay. So
let me answer this question.
Just restate Sam's question that you're answering, so that we know what you're saying. And
Sam told me that Donald Trump was someone who promised things and didn't deliver, and I am giving specific examples where Sam is incorrect with that statement. And one of the statements I'm proving is that Trump said he's going to build an embassy in Jerusalem, and he did. Statement one. He said he's going to recognize the Golan Heights as part of Israel. He did. He said he was going to build a wall defending the United States with the border of Mexico. He did. He told, and I'm going to the top of my head, by the way, this is pretty amazing. I did this, by the way. He said that he was going to allow medicines for people that are sick and dying to be allowed so people can try. He did. So we can go on and on about all the things that Trump said. Very few presidents have said they're going to do something and done to me. Now, you want to talk about whatever, that is one of the major reasons I'm for Donald Trump. So that's why it's very important. If you want to go to each topic, more than happy now. Go ahead.
So since we kind of exhausted that, let's go from topic to topic just so that we have a little bit of consistency here, okay?
Okay.
So
yes, ABC.
Since you brought up Israel, we are going to start with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Right.
All right, and tackling that, and Donald Trump's platform for tackling that versus Kamala Harris's platform talking about that. I think you guys have a lot of really great common ground on this because you're both Jewish men. All right.
I don't think the men part of has it. I don't know if the Jewish part does, but I hope so.
You are both Jewish men.
I don't think
brought up 100% all around.
All right. So,
and
I think that's actually a great starting off point, and I do want to address one of the things that you just said, because you did say that Trump said that he was going to move the embassy into Jerusalem, and I understand that point, and I guess if that was a campaign promise that really mattered to you, and he fulfilled that for you, that's fantastic. The reason that we are seeing the tragedy that's in Gaza right now is directly because of that decision. That delegitimized Palestine on the world stage, and is now putting them in, or at least put Hamas in the desperate position that made them attack Israel. Now, of course, that was a terrible thing. They should not have done that. But I mean, they in a position that creates extremism. And unfortunately, Bibi Netanyahu and the Israeli government has very much created those conditions.
Okay.
So please let me finish. You just talked for a while. Please let me finish.
No, I was interrupted by the monitor from ABC TV. But go ahead. Yes.
I mean, look, if you want to insult the moderator, that just looks like a bad debate tactic. That's why Trump also lost the last
I know
debate.
that's what.
I mean, unfortunately, attacking the moderator
Would you like to
really
finish your statement?
just proves that you don't actually have an argument here.
Can we please stay on topic?
So
Moderate,
going back to the topic. I mean, realistically, when you look at what's going on in Gaza right now, I mean, it's a travesty that is unconscionable on so many levels. But I mean, that's all Trump's fault. All those people are dying because of Trump.
Okay, can I stop saying that?
Yes, Sam's time is done. It is now your time to rebuttal.
I couldn't disagree more with
Okay.
you ever about this.
Okay.
That's so logic.
Sure.
See, there's something called paper in my pocket.
Okay.
It's for money. When your president, Biden,
Not my president.
Biden,
I literally just told you I'm not a Democrat. I'm just a liberal.
I'm being interrupted right now, which is not. I wasn't allowed told to be interrupted. So when Kamala and Biden's administration decided to give them, I think like 350 or some billions of dollars for hostages, and they made gas prices go up, they had the resources to fund these horrible, hideous groups called Hamas and Hezbollah. And by them having the money and then deciding together to attack Israel, the actual plot was not about it. It was about destroying Israel. It was not about anything but destroying Israel from the south and the north. But what happened is Hezbollah didn't jump as fast as they wanted to. So Hamas went in and killed innocent people. There's absolutely not one excuse I would ever find for that, number one. And number two,
Agreed.
Number two, Israel is destroying for the first time, thank God, these evil, despicable people that do not belong on this earth who have killed innocent life. There's no excuse. I will never give
But
any
I'm agreeing.
Wait,
I agree with that point.
I'm almost done. Thank you. I'm almost done with the point. But when you give money to bad people, they will use it for bad purposes. And the money was given because gas prices went up. We gave them money for hostages to Iran, and Iran gave that money to Hamas and Hezbollah, which then had the power to do the evil. The same reason that Russia was able to invade Ukraine.
Okay.
Because
We're going off topic.
It's fine, but I want you to know that it's money. They got money from gas prices. When that money got to them, same idea. They got money, and money allowed them to do this. It never happened under Trump, and it would never happen under Trump.
Do you concede that things don't happen overnight?
Do I concede? Of course, some things don't happen overnight.
Okay, so when Trump moved the embassy to Jerusalem, that set in motion the events that led to October 7th.
Can I make a statement? This is like blaming a woman that's at a beach with a bikini for being raped because she's beautiful clothes.
It is nothing like
Same
that.
thing.
Do you want to move to that topic? Because I'll gladly move to women's reproductive rights because you guys.
To women's reproductive rights, we're finishing the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let's talk about women's reproductive rights. Let me just get my cards out here for a second.
I don't need cards.
I'm sure you don't.
But raw dogs it.
So I saw a video that you posted on Instagram that said that these are not Trump abortion bans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, maybe they're not in his name, but he did repeal Roe v. Wade or get that repealed. And since then, 41 states have now enacted, excuse me, I'm talking.
It's the Supreme Court, by the way.
Okay. Since
Did
then,
did we finish the Israeli-Palestinian conflict?
Yes. Since then, 41 states have enacted abortion restrictions. 13 of those states have total bans. 28 states have bans based on gestational period. Of those, 8 states have banned abortions at or before 18 weeks. Oftentimes, many times before women even know that they're pregnant. I mean, when you're looking at some of these abortion bans, I mean, in Texas, you have this woman, Nevaeh Crane, I apologize if I pronounced her name wrong. She died of sepsis in a Texas hospital because doctors were fearful of getting prosecuted by the law because the abortion ban's there. You have the former regional director of the Department of Health, Dr. Dara Cass, said that these restrictions kill women. By the way, Nevaeh Crane, she was 18 years old when she died in that Texas hospital because of that Trump abortion ban. She is one of 2 women in Texas that died because those doctors were afraid of those bans. Also, insanely, from 2019 to 2022, in Texas specifically, the rates of maternal mortality cases rose by 56% compared to 11% nationwide during the same period, which means that more than half the maternal mortalities in Texas went up because of these abortion bans.
I don't really know how that makes any sense.
That's literally from Pew
I have
Research.
no idea. Okay, I'll keep going, but I have no idea
Okay,
what that makes any sense at all.
Caitlin Cash discovered her child would die upon childbirth if she didn't abort. She had to take off work, spend extra money, and travel out of state, so she didn't kill her infant while delivering it. Amber Nicole Thurman is another example of a woman in Georgia who died in a preventable death because of these abortion bans. Jocelyn Barnaga, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, died after waiting 40 hours for doctors to intervene during her miscarriage. Trump has called these policies a beautiful thing.
Okay, so thank you for your comment. I wanted to tell a quick story.
Those are not comments, those are facts.
I'm tell you. Well, those are not facts because
They are facts. Those women are dead. Those women are dead.
I'm getting interrupted again. Can you elect my time, please? Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yielding to Bud's time.
Thank
Sam
you. I
needs to
appreciate
listen.
that. Each one of those cases has definitely information on both sides where it was not maybe the abortion, it was the hospital's fault when they did the performance. There's actual information on both sides. But I want to just talk about a very personal story. I was once in a
Look it up.
Yeah, I'm more than happy. I looked it up. I got more facts on it. How the hospital did a very poor job. But more than happy. And the idea of like that there were more what's it called? I'll go into a minute. But when I was young, I was on a show called Nightline. And when I came to work the next day, it was a show about abortion. And about the story about abortion, and I was on the pro-life side. They picked me somehow. They didn't think I was. And when I came to work, a nice white guy said to me, "How dare you take that to me? You want these black and Hispanic kids more Hispanic black kids to be born? Abortion is about killing children. Okay, it's about killing unborn children. That's what it's about. It's simply taking it's taking unborn babies and killing them. They did. He specifically said to me, "There's too many black and Hispanic children." The leader, well, it's a fact. If you want to look this up, you think the leader of Planned Parenthood was a person that was for genetics, was for killing people of Hispanic and black babies. And look that up too. Her name is Singer. If you want to know the facts about it. Number 2, let's be common sense about it. Really want an abortion. I take a car and I drive to a different state, New York and New Jersey. Thank you very much. You're always gonna have the right to kill a baby up to 9 months, which I have right now. I don't know why that doesn't affect you at all. A 9-month-old baby being killed, but that's fine. If you don't care about the babies, if you only care about one person, I care about all people. Okay, I care about the mothers and them. So we do have to do much better. And truthfully, we have to do much better to help the mothers who have unwanted children. But at the same time, we have to make sure that the idea that we care about all life, those unborn children at 8 months old that are being aborted, at 6 months old being aborted, that's disgusting in any country to have that happen. It's just repulsive to me as a whole. And the idea, but at this point, thank you, that each one of these people, I'm more than happy after this debate to prove that did not happen because they were not having an abortion. I guarantee it was the hospitals that were there that had problems, and you make these stories up because it sounds good for music.
Stories up.
That's all. I'm more than happy to do that afterwards. Thank you.
But I'm sorry, every point that you don't like, you claim is false. But that's actually not the truth. This is the reality.
I'm more than happy.
Now let's talk about the reality of a 9-month, third trimester abortion. If that's happening, almost all the time, I'd say 95% of the time, there's a medical emergency. The woman is either going to die during childbirth or the child itself is going to die. You're trying to make that woman a criminal because she's bleeding out internally. You're trying to make the doctor that's doing God's work trying to save her life a criminal.
Okay, this is getting a little silly because even it's silly because wait.
This is the reality.
Thank you.
And also, quite honestly, he just spoke for a while. Do you mind if I talk for a bit?
But has time needs to rebuttal.
But okay.
It's fine.
Let
him rebuttal and then.
As you know, very smart. Trump said he wants to have exceptions.
Very smart.
For right. No, you're very smart.
Oh,
you're a very smart man. You know that
no
Trump.
ad hominem, Sam. Strike.
He said Sam is very smart. You know that Trump has strongly said he wants to have exceptions for life, health, and rape and incest. He wants the 3 exceptions. He wants to make sure they're safe. He also doesn't want a national ban. He's not into and this whole thing with the IV. He doesn't want any of that stuff going on. If I'm not pronouncing it wrong, He doesn't want any of that stuff. So all that is not true. That's not what he wants. But
Okay,
go
can I
on.
respond?
Yes.
Thank
Now Sam can respond. No
Okay.
interrupting, Bud. Thank you.
No.
Thank you. So again, going back to the third trimester thing, those are all happening in emergency cases. As far as what you're talking about, oh, Trump doesn't want this, Trump says he doesn't want that. You know, he says a lot of things and they all are lies. But I mean, like when we come down to it, it doesn't matter what he says because these are actually happening. 13 of these states already have total bans without exceptions. What you also said about just drive to another state and get an abortion. You know, you all talked about people that don't have enough means. If I'm sitting there and I'm a, I don't know, 16-year-old that just got raped by her stepfather, which has happened in this country since these bans have been enacted, I can't just drive to another state. I can't take off work. I can't just hop in a taxi and go to another state and get an abortion, and much less have a ride back. I mean, an abortion, what, costs $500 out of pocket if you have insurance? And then, like, you have to take a bus fare or a plane fare or have somebody drive you or take off work to go out of state to get an abortion. Why can't you just get an abortion in your state because you and your doctor have discussed it and realized that this is the correct path for you? Your government should have no place in your doctor's office. The same way when you go to the doctor's office and somebody sticks a hand up your butt so they can test for prostate cancer, you shouldn't have a government in there going like, actually, we want to do this to you. Come on, bud. Like, there's no law for you when you go to the doctor that your government intervenes and says you're not allowed to do this basic medical procedure to save your life.
All right, Sam, yield to Bud.
Thank you. Two things. You're saying about a woman's right to their body, a man's right to their body, but the government itself forced people to take a vaccine that they were against. They would lose their job.
You mean the Trump administration?
Again, I'm being interrupted.
Yes,
Thank you.
the Trump
No,
administration.
the Biden administration. Thank you.
They did
No,
that.
no.
Trump did.
I'm being
No
interrupted.
interrupting.
Thank
All right,
you.
someone else will
No, the Biden administration.
Who made the vaccine?
Again, the Trump administration, but the idea, of course they made it. They passed it. They definitely passed. They definitely did. But they didn't force people to have it. They didn't force people against their moral values to have this vaccine, which hurt some people and were forced on them. Number one. Number two, when we're talking about abortion, again, life, incest, rape, mother, all agree the Trump thinks that's nothing we don't want to have. So we don't understand that. Number one. So let's go. And the people have abortion because you know what? I wanted a boy instead of a girl. You know what? Excuse me, it
That's
is
not happening.
I'll bet you $1,000 it happens in this country.
I'd take that bet.
I'll take that.
I will take that bet.
That is, I know that happens because I know people that did it. So that's
Okay, I would like to meet them.
Okay, great. I know.
I want to see the abortion clinic that gave them permission to abort a baby because they didn't like the gender. Bud. I want to see that. I really want to see that.
You can abort a baby for any reason. You just go to the doctor, you want an abortion. I don't mean interrupted.
Interrupting.
Thank you. You got abortion. You get abortion because you want a day of the week. Many guys get a woman knocked up, as we know, and they don't want to have the baby. So, they abuse the.
So they are forced. So they should be forced
No.
to have that child?
They put pressure on the woman to have an abortion because they don't want to take responsibility for the baby, or they rape a woman. They force it because they don't want to be responsible for being accused. You're a very smart man, and you are one of the smartest people to not be naive that both sides don't go on. That there are people that abuse abortion for.
No, I'm sorry.
It's just being naive. We're going to keep on. But anyway, it's naive to think that people don't abuse abortion. I know people that use abortion as birth control. I know all this goes on. To not say that this doesn't happen in the real world is unrealistic. Are there people that raped that have abortions? Yes, of course. It's horrible that they feel like. I also know someone who was born of a raped parent who was raped, and thank God they're alive because they're a great person today. So I know that too.
But that was that person's path.
But there's always
that person's parents' path.
They're always exceptions, of course.
They had the option to have that child.
And Trump wants to have the exceptions for rape, incest, and life mother. And nobody's saying if someone's deadly sick that they can't have a abortion if it has.
Okay,
but mostly they're using birth control. They're using birth control. They're using sex selection. They're using it because the boyfriend says, you know what, I don't want to have the child. And sometimes even the guy that raped the girl says, you have to have the abortion, I'm going to kill you. So there's a lot of people, it goes both ways.
What about
so
life of the child?
Don't go like...
What about life of the child?
Life, I 100% want life. I'm pro-life. That means pro-life all the way through.
So, I'm saying...
Pro-life all the way through.
I'm saying if a woman is pregnant, like one of the women I have written here, actually, I forget which one.
Okay, we don't know.
But one of the women I have written down there, she had a baby that had genetic abnormalities in her womb, and it was going to be born basically without a working skeleton. And the baby would suffocate and die upon being pushed out of her womb. Should that baby be forced to suffocate and die, or should the doctors just be allowed to go in and remove it?
In those exceptions, those cases, of course you have that.
But this is not an exception.
No,
But
no,
this
that's
is why
not-
these.
no,
But these are
that's
why
not-
these procedures exist.
No,
This is why they're
Okay.
there.
Okay, we're getting
let's
to
get
the
another
topic. We're gonna move on to the next topic. As
Sure.
much as I love men fighting over what I should do with my body, we're gonna move on.
Again, ABC News. Thank you very much. Go ahead, next.
Okay, fun. Whatever. Anyway, all right, we're gonna move on to the issue of crime in this country. What has happened, where we are, where we should be going, and whose platform supports the best plan for absolving crime in this country.
You know, a good example about our immigration policy. Legal immigration, as Trump says, and we all say is great. People come here, we know who they are, where they're coming from. When we have illegal immigrants, and we have no idea who they are, whether from gangs in Venezuela or from El Salvador, like MS-13, we don't know. Whether they're drinking fentanyl in this country, I know personally, and I'm sure Sam is, again, a very smart man, he probably knows people that have been hurt with drugs like fentanyl that are coming in this country at a rapid rate, that are killing people. And this is happening because we're allowing people in this country without knowing who they are. And we've done it for 3 years already, number one. Number two, cashless bail. People that are repeat offenders get cashless bail. They go out and they hurt people. They throw a woman in the trains. They go back out. They throw someone else in the train. They go back out the next day. It makes absolutely no sense. We also had our friend Kamala bail out these people who were rioting in Minnesota, destroying businesses, destroying people's livelihood. She tried to get them bail for going out and burning businesses down.
Like January 6th was.
No, this is if you want. I'm more than happy to speak at January 6th.
Or Kyle Rittenhouse.
I'm more happy to speak at January 6th. I am so happy to speak about that.
We'll talk about it.
But right now we're talking about this.
Right now we're talking about
Right, that's a
drugs.
different
We're
topic.
gonna move on to guns at some
I
other
thought we were talking about crime.
No, we're talking crime.
All right. Well, we have to spread it out because there's a lot of
Crime.
fucking crime in America. all right?
Okay, so actually, I'd like to. Can I address
Let's
this?
start
I
with
did
the war
already.
on drugs.
I would like to address crime actually.
They did, right?
I have
I had
my
my
breakdown
statement
for
so
that.
she wants to.
So listen, I mean, but I think when I was thinking about talking to you today, I think I'm here to help you
I
because-
appreciate help.
because you are being lied to. You are being lied to and conned so badly, and I feel so bad. So here's the actual facts.
Thank you for feeling bad for me.
You're welcome.
I'm feeling good though.
So here are the actual facts. Now, there are caveats to this, and I want to point these caveats out, but these are the actual numbers from the FBI and the Bureau of Justice Statistics. Okay? Now, first, I just want to say that the caveats being that the FBI publishes data annually on crimes that have only been reported. Okay? The information that I have is only up to 2022 right now. I don't have the 2023 stats. Okay? But I have up to 2022. 83% of law enforcement agencies participated in this study in 2022 by the FBI. That's an annual thing. Generally, that's about as high as it gets. The Bureau of Justice tracks crime via a large annual survey of Americans 12 and up. What's interesting about that is that's also able to capture unreported crimes. Okay? Crimes that don't get reported to the authorities. Now, from the time Biden took office to now, 11% more Americans believe that crime is a problem. It went from 47% to 58%, and that's as of April of 2024, this year. Okay, so there has been an 11% increase in the belief that crime is a problem. Here are the actual statistics. Property crime in 2022 reports 1,954.4 property crime per 100,000 people, compared to only 380.7 violent crimes per 100,000 people. So definitely significantly more property crime than violent crime. Also another caveat, drug crimes are not included in this. Most common property crime is theft, followed by motor vehicle theft and burglary. Most common violent crimes are aggravated assault, robbery, rape, murder, and negligent manslaughter. Both reports show that crime has dropped dramatically since 1993. The trends show that violent crime fell 49% from 1993 to 2022. Robbery fell 74%. Aggravated assault fell 39%. Murder and manslaughter and negligent manslaughter fell 34%. U.S. Property crime fell 59% from 93 to 2022. Burglary down 75%. Larceny and theft down 54%. Grand theft auto down 53%. I mean, I could really just keep going on and on and on. The crime is down. The crime is down. When you talk about shoplifting increasing in the last couple years, yeah, it has increased because shops are open again after COVID. They are only back at the same levels as they were in 2019 before everything shut down. This rise in crime is a complete fallacy. That is just a total lie.
Ready?
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Sam yield to Bud.
Yeah,
Bud
no,
gets
I got
a
time.
long time, so you got to sit and
It's fine.
listen and not scoff, Sam.
No, I mean, I don't know where he's getting at. I mean, I
The
remember,
FBI.
no, I also remember just very recently the FBI updated their crime figures. And the FBI updated their crime figures. When they did it, it actually showed an incredible high amount of crime rate going up. Not only that, wait, let me finish the point, Sam. Sam, just so you know,
Bud has to finish his
Thank
point.
you.
You have to sit and shut up.
just so you know that it was just recently that they said the status on the unemployment for the first time was totally off. On 2 months ago, it was like nothing. It was like went down unemployment. Unemployment went down, and they had to revise it because they messed up. It seems very convenient. These things have been
That's
quote
not
revised.
crime.
What? I'm sorry.
That's not crime.
No. We're talking about your stats. I know for a fact the stats were proven incorrect on the FBI. They had to revise it, and that was done, if you remember correctly, on the debates. Thank you. On the Donald Trump, when the Donald Trump Harris debates, he said crime was going up. They went to rephrase it, and then the FBI released a report a day later, and it proved that crime went up substantial. And you know what? It's sort of like, I hate to say it to you, and I apologize, Sam, because you're a good guy overall, but it seemed like it's arrogant a little bit to say that people who are really being hurt. I mean, my coworker died of fentanyl poisoning. He died. They're dead. I know some people are dead of fentanyl. I'm sorry. There are people that I know that are dead from these
Same.
drugs. So don't say this didn't happen 2 years ago. This didn't happen at this level. I know so many people are being hurt. They're all over them. I've seen the Bronx. I work in the Bronx. Do you work in the inner city, Sam? Would you mind?
Yes,
You work in the Bronx every day?
I've worked. Not
No. I work every day in the Bronx.
Sure.
I've seen the crime going down. I've seen what's going on with the unemployment. I'm sorry, with what's going on with the people that are homeless, the drug problem. It's disgusting. It's horrible out there.
Yeah.
I've seen people take craps in the middle. You walk in San Francisco. You tell me San Francisco is the same it was 2 years ago? Can you tell me that?
Is it any worse than it was in 1993?
It's much worse.
Where crime peaked?
No, you walk
Because
down the street.
statistically, that's not
Walk
true.
down the street and see the amount of homeless and poverty, and it's terrible. People, you know what? Let me tell you something.
So you want to invest more money in homeless shelters?
No, that's bullshit. I want to invest. I want
So what do you want to do with them?
to invest in mental health facilities to get them the help.
Okay, the Republicans vote that down.
No, we don't. Let me finish my
You
point.
do.
Let me finish my point, please. Let me finish the point. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This whole thing means nothing to me personally. I'll do away whether Trump is president or Harris president. I'll do fine. But my friends in the Bronx, my friends are down in West Virginia. They are suffering now because of this Harris administration. My friends in Israel are suffering. So
How?
this
How are your friends in the Bronx suffering? Because
they
of
are
the administration?
inflation, interest rates, homelessness, fentanyl poisoning,
Those are
illegal
not-
immigrants.
those
Those
are
are
not-
all happening
those are
that
not-
weren't there.
But those are not factors that Biden can strictly control.
No, but illegal
I mean,
immigrants is unbelievable what happened.
Let's go to inflation for a second. So, I mean, like, when we're talking about inflation.
Is that the right topic?
Yeah, hold on. Can we just finish the war on drugs really quick? And
Okay,
then
fine.
we'll
I'll go
move
to war
on
on drugs.
inflation?
So
I'll
look,
add this to the list.
let's talk about drugs for a second. So you're talking about fentanyl a lot. You know, I frankly have had very personal family members affected by opioids. I've had multiple friends pass away because of opioid addiction. So I mean, I totally understand that that argument. The problem is that you're looking at the wrong person. I mean, who invented the opioids that killed so many hundreds of thousands of people? The Sacklers, a very wealthy pharmaceutical family dynasty that gets away with breaking the law and killing hundreds of thousands of people basically with impunity, because they're rich. I mean, they bribed the FDA and made them say that their drug was healthy. They told doctors that their drug was healthy and lied. And hundreds of thousands of people got addicted to opioids and died. That's the Sacklers' fault. That has really very little to do with the drugs coming over the border. When you're talking about the drugs coming over the border, though, yeah, that is a problem. The best way to combat that would be legalizing a lot of those drugs. You legalize weed, you kneecap the cartels almost completely. They lose like their main form of income. that becomes a state income because you could tax that now. So frankly, we're talking about the war on drugs. You're looking at the wrong culprit.
You're talking about legalized. We're talking about fentanyl.
It's legal already.
No.
Opioid is fentanyl.
Fentanyl
Excuse me, is opioids.
Right. First of all, when Robert F. Kennedy takes over the FDA, when Donald Trump is president, all these problems about these drugs coming in, the leaving out drugs to kids, that's all going to be taken care of. And also, by the way, just to know, all this horrible foods that we get, that's all those foods, we're all going to be looking at a lot differently. But that's another label.
Yeah, like bear meat.
So he actually is against very strongly, and Trump's taking a very strong position of having R.F. Kennedy in the administration, and he's going to look into all these big companies and see what's going on. But when it comes, and I'm totally against that. He's against big pharma, so we're going to look in the whole damn thing because he's very main against the vaccine. So that's a very big play. If you like that, you should like Trump. But on fentanyl itself, that is coming in, and Trump says those people that bring that in, death penalty. It's simple. You want to get rid of that,
right?
So you get rid of the people that do that.
Just kill them.
The people that the drug kingpins, they are bringing death to this country, and they deserve. Yeah, it's 100%.
So no trial.
No, of course trials. Of course.
Oh, okay, so we're going to try
Okay.
them, and then we have to find evidence that they did this, and then we're going to kill them.
Yeah.
Because they sold drugs.
Not sold. They sell fentanyl, which kills people. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's the difference. Marijuana is not killing people. And about legalization,
so Sackler should get the death penalty.
If they brought in illegal drugs,
they made it. They made it and sold it to the entire country and lied to hundreds of thousands of people and made doctors untrustworthy because they told them that these drugs you couldn't possibly get addicted to.
What they did is wrong, and they need to be punished to the full extent of the law.
Okay, I'm glad we could agree on that.
Now that we can end on a even note on drugs, we're going to move on to inflation.
Cool.
I think I went over inflation.
I think honestly we kind of touched on that.
Yeah, we did.
Briefly. I mean, if you want to keep on it, we can. But
okay, not to my knowledge. You kind of talked about it for 2 seconds and didn't.
But I can talk more about.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it if you want.
Do you want to talk more about inflation?
Well, I would basically said to.
If you don't care anymore.
No, I basically talked to Sam. I basically spoke to Sam about the idea that energy prices are one of the major contributors to inflation, as items need to be put together and made and distributed, and everything has to do with the gas and oil prices. And when you destroy the idea of pipelines to get things through, and in the first 3 years using that to make it inefficient, that's really a problem. And also, by the way, taking all the oil and gas that we keep in reserves to lower the prices, we got out of it, so we have no reserves, so we have a problem where we're in serious problems. But I digress. But inflation is horrible because of we don't have the means to move things around. And also, I digress. One other thing, the other reason is because of so many. Well, the government puts so many burdens on business that they can't make things cheap. It becomes very expensive, and that makes it all a problem as a whole too.
Sam, do you have a rebuttal on that?
Just really a different comment. More so that statistically, inflation is going down. The Fed just announced that it dropped to 2.4. Their goal is 2.2. The major inflation that I'm seeing, at least right now, is like when I'm going to the grocery store. These are problems that the Harris campaign is addressing very directly in her policies. She wants to gut price gouging, and she wants to put those companies on watch. That's really, frankly, the way to do it, because that's how they're getting away with the inflation right now, is because they're price gouging these products, like your cereal and your milk and your grocery products.
Interesting. So you believe in the idea that government gets more involved in business and more involved in it. So
yes, because they shouldn't be taking advantage.
So less companies say, you know what, F this. I'm done making milk. I'm done making eggs. I don't need to do any of this bullshit. Instead of being 5 companies, there's 2 companies, like a Venezuela thing. So you have less companies, less supply, because you know what? It gets to be effing annoying to run a business and have government looking in your pockets. And you know what? Also,
but they were running these businesses just fine before the pandemic, before they started price gouging.
Well, price gouging is about gas and oil, not a transport thing.
It's not.
That's the difference.
But it's not.
It is basically about that.
It's not.
All right.
We're producing more oil in this than we ever have in this country's history.
Again, when the supply goes, when when we transport that in an easy flow, it
mean,
will lower the prices. And that's
outside of the one
and that's what
pipeline,
you're right.
Biden has approved a ton of pipelines.
And that's what's funny. That's
I mean,
what.
like,
Well, that's an interesting point. And you said it's going to be 2%, and now gas and oil prices are going down. So now you see the inflation.
well,
rates
the gas
going
and
down.
oil prices are going down right
There
now
you
just
go.
because we're around an election.
Okay, since we're rehashing things that we did earlier
Yes.
in the program, we're going to move on to the topic of immigration.
Sure.
We did.
We're going to start with Sam first, just because he has a card, and then you can rebuttal whatever he says. Okay, bud? Is that good? Well, you should have prepared.
Ooh. Okay.
That was very ABC coded of me, wasn't it?
So,
No, we had 3 cards.
here's something I think we can agree on. I think there is an immigration problem. We agree on that?
I'm just waiting what they said on yesterday.
Okay, cool. So, the U.S. is actually home to 1/5 of the world's migrants. Do you know that? We're actually one of the largest takers of migrants across the entire world. Out of unauthorized immigrants here, our population grew to 11 million in 2022. That is a 500,000 person increase from 2021. So we are definitely increasing in the amount of unauthorized people in this country. This reversed a downward trend also, because from 2007 to 2019, it had actually been decreasing the amount of illegal immigrants that we had in the country. This is, however, still below our peak of illegal immigrants in the country from 2007, when we had 12.2 million in the country. So we're still lower than that. Now, you might remember, Obama was actually called the deporter in chief, and Biden has also deported, if not more people than Trump did. However, that still hasn't changed the fact that encounters with migrants on the border have reached record levels between 2022 and 2023. The number of applicants applying for asylum increased by 1 million people by the end of 2023. So, I mean, there is issues there. When we're talking about immigration, though, they need a pathway to asylum. They don't currently have a good pathway to asylumship right now. When we're talking about stuff like what's going on in Ohio, I know I'm going a little bit long. I'll let Bud respond to this when I'm done. The Haitian people that are eating the cats and dogs, right? They're actually here legally. He lied about that. That's a lie. They're here legally. They're here under a program called the CHNV program. They're here with the United for Ukraine program also, that brought an additional 500,000 people into the country legally. Okay? Now, I could see issues in that, but they are here legally, and he lied that they are here illegally. They're also not eating cats and dogs, but I'm not going to really address that, because that's really just not worth time. So on average, it takes immigrants who are here doing this legally, it takes them about 10 years to become a citizen. So the idea that Democrats are fast-tracking immigrants to be Democratic voters, that's ridiculous. That's a lie. The political asylum, asylum refugee is asylum seeker is a political refugee, right? They're coming here because their country politics or the government has fallen apart so badly that they're no longer able to live there. Trump thinks that those people are crazy people because he doesn't understand the difference between an asylum seeker and a person living in an asylum. That's why he sits there and constantly brings up Hannibal Lecter at his rallies, because he literally doesn't understand what he's talking about.
Is you ready?
Sure.
Are you done, Sam?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
stop.
We're going to yield our time to Bud.
I'd appreciate any personal attacks on the president, not to be that. I have any personal attacks against Harris, so I'd appreciate no personal attacks on Trump.
It's not personal
Wait,
attacks.
no,
He
you
legitimately doesn't
did. You
understand.
just said it time. But anyway, I'll go. But on this sort of facts about the illegal immigration, legal immigration, fine, no problem with that. We can make it easy to get in. Illegal immigration problems is because you reversed policies that Trump had from day one. You also made it out to be that you can come to this country, not you personally, the administration, that you can come to this country and we're not going to kick you out. You made it like that. You also, the administration, if not hinting, is utilizing the idea of, if you know, by the way, when it comes to the congressional map, you're very smart, the congressional map, I say, do you know it's based on population in the state?
Correct.
Not legal or illegal, it's the population. So if you bring in more illegal immigrants into a state, you get more representation.
But they can't.
Wait, no. Well, doesn't
They
make a
still can't
difference.
vote.
Doesn't make a difference because that state then has more representation. So if you move into a state that the Democrats are doing better in, then you get more legal immigrants in, and then that has more representation. So that's a nice thing, a little trick you can do, by the way. So just so you know. If you want to talk about that story with the Haitian immigrants, I have other facts. I'm more than happy to prove that yes, they used that paper. They never used it before in the last 10 years to get these people in. So there's a lot of facts about that one. But
But
the
they are
idea
here
that,
legally.
no, they're not here legally.
They are. They are.
There was
They're part of
I'm
this
more than
program.
Sam,
Thank
interruption.
you.
Please let.
But
Pete speak.
I have information with a different one, but I didn't get my notes as carefully. So I'm more than happy to provide that afterwards. But they are not here legally. They did a certain paperwork that usually isn't used. Thank you very much. Thank you, ABC, not right. But so I was also going to say the most important thing is they got rid of all the rules, such as when you stay in Mexico until you get through. They got rid of that. They decided to the wall. They're going to stop at the wall. They decided that you come to this country illegally. We're not going to deport you. We're going to let you in. They made the whole thing about, and they made a very weak policies that made these people come illegal in the country.
Mm-hmm.
No, if you come here illegally, you do not have the right to stay in this country here. You broke the law. I'm sorry. I feel bad that you're in this country, but you do not have the right. Maybe we can make a path to citizenship, maybe, but you do not have that right. The people work so hard, become legal citizens. My family worked hard. His family worked hard. A lot of you worked hard to become here legally. It's not right to come here illegally and jump the line. It's like someone cutting the line in the movie theater or anything else. You have to let the people do it right first. And they worked very hard. We should make it much easier for legal immigration and make it much harder for legal immigration, especially those Venezuelan drugs that are hurting people in Colorado that they kicked out of their buildings. It's horrible.
Off topic, but yield to Sam.
I wasn't off topic at all about that.
You brought up drugs.
I was talking about the illegal immigrants in.
I don't think it was off topic, but
Still,
I'll take
Oh,
it.
you're allowing it?
I think that was fine.
All right, but would you like more time? Or are you ready to?
I was saying about again
I would
that
like
the
to.
illegal immigrants that came in from Venezuela have gangs and they are hurting people in Colorado. They took over buildings
Sure.
and
That
they
was
took
proven to
over
be false.
buildings. They took over
That was
buildings.
debunked.
No, that was not
It was
debunked.
debunked.
Okay, well, this is another one we'll have to do later on. But it wasn't debunked, and there are gangs coming in. And to believe, and listen, if
White people not have gangs?
if 99, I don't care about white, black, Chinese, I don't care what the hell it is. I don't care straight, it doesn't make a difference. But to believe that even if you believe that 100% of the legal immigrants are great people, that's like believing that everything is perfect. If even 1% is bad, which is, I think, so more than that, but even 1%, that's 1%, that one girl that dies from a legal immigrant, that she didn't have to die because they should have betted them out. And that's one innocent person that didn't die. And as a pro-life person, I don't want to see one life die.
I respond now. Okay.
Sam gets to spawn.
So I mean, first off, Senator Langford, I think that's his name, Republican senator from Texas. He had written an immigration bill that was bipartisan. The entire House and Congress was going to sign it. Trump killed that bill because he wanted to run on immigration and make it a problem. And that's why, again, I go back to you're being lied to. So, I mean, that bill was endorsed by the Border Patrol Agency. It was endorsed by, pretty much everybody who needed to endorse it. And they still voted it. They didn't take a vote on it because Trump didn't want to. He actually called up Mitch McConnell and told them, don't vote on this because I want to make this a campaign issue.
Can I interrupt one second? I really apologize.
Sure.
I don't interrupt.
Sure.
2 questions on that. When was that bill adopted? Was that bill put in when he first came to office? Or was that done like the 6 months before that?
That was one of the first bills that they introduced.
Another thing we'll have to debate afterwards. I do not believe this was done when he first came to office. I will put another one. Number 2 fact: were there any Democratic senators against it?
Oh, against it? No, I don't know. Actually, to be honest, I actually don't know if there was Democratic senators against it.
Substantially prove that
more than likely,
it wasn't going to pass.
More than likely, knowing the contents of the bill, I would assume probably your very, very left-leaning Democrats were probably against it because it was a more conservative bill. But it still would have passed because enough Democrats were for it.
All right, well, we'll have to. I will have to disagree. Agree to disagree.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next topic because I think we're ready. You wrote a note on rhetoric, Sam.
Yeah.
So what was this rhetoric referring to?
Give me a sec. So.
Can I have a topic too?
Yes.
Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
Would you like to add a topic to the roster, bud?
I would like to add a topic to the roster.
Well, Sam gets his notes
That's
together.
fine.
What would you like to add?
I would like to add the word democracy. How someone gets elected to.
Honestly, I think that fits in with rhetoric.
It goes with rhetoric?
Yeah, I would say so.
All right. So rhetoric, democratic
Sure.
system.
Okay, so I hope you don't mind if I start talking here because I have a lot
My
in the
pleasure,
canon for
sir.
this. Thank you. So I mean, like on the way here, I thought it would be a really good idea to read the Constitution, and I did. Have you ever read the Constitution, bud?
Again, that's a bit of insulting to say that.
Plenty of people haven't.
I
I
have
bet
read
a
the
lot of people in this room.
No attacking each other.
I'm not attacking.
allowed.
It's a genuine question.
Doesn't have anything to do with the topic.
So it does.
Spit facts.
So
and then
in
rebuttals.
the Constitution, right in the first sentence, it says to ensure domestic tranquility. Trump has said that he wants to terminate the Constitution. He says that he wants to put Liz Cheney in front of a firing squad. He's told his supporters to punch and kill other supporters of opposing political parties. He wanted to hang his vice president. He had his lawyer say trial by combat. Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, says he's a fascist. 13 former administration officials have signed a letter of support in agreements with that. He would govern like a dictator and has no concept of the Constitution. Trump says that he wants to use the Alien Insurrections Act to mass deport between 2 and 21 million immigrants, a number that is completely unfounded. He has no idea how many illegal immigrants are apparently in the country. It's only 11. So when we look at, I mean, this is just in the past couple of weeks that he said these things. I could keep honestly going back and back and back and finding ridiculous things that he said, like all Mexicans are rapists and criminals and drug dealers, or any of, making fun of the disabled person in the rally that was in front of him. Any of these things. Does that ensure domestic tranquility, or is it just chaos?
So he threw out a whole bunch of stuff, and each one of those, it's like throwing at me saying if I said the word fat, then you put in said a fat lady.
Putting
And
Liz
no,
Cheney in
excuse me,
front of a
excuse me,
firing
that-
squad
no,
is
that-
not like saying
No, he did
she's
not
fat.
say that. He did not say. I'm more than happy to start the Liz Cheney thing. 'Cause Liz Cheney was about the idea of her being a warmonger, a war pig.
So she should be shot.
Excuse me. No, he did not say that.
He did.
And even the liberal.
It's on video.
I'm more than happy to play the liberal. Let me just. Can I please say that? I would like that one. I'm glad you brought that one up. That was the easiest one. It was the most recent. So he basically was saying how Liz Cheney was a warmonger and she brought us to many wars. Matter of fact, more importantly, how many people, our citizens, died in Iraq because, and honestly, I'm gonna tell you something. I was wrong. I was in support of the Iraq War. I was, but then you see so many people that were killed, innocent people killed for a stupid thing that Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney were making millions and billions of dollars on killing our kids. That's wrong. So yes, he said, I wonder how tough Liz Cheney would be if the guns were pointed to her. That's what he said, and he defined it. But
Is that retouric appropriate?
No, no.
Is that rhetoric
No,
appropriate?
because I support a
for
Nazi.
political-
I'm a Nazi. I don't. Wait. I'm a
appointee?
Nazi, and I'm a Jewish Nazi, and I'm also what am I? What am I again? What'd your president say? Your president said I was a piece of garbage.
My president?
Well, a piece of garbage.
Our president.
Oh, well, you're right. Well, I guess it was, but I don't know. It wasn't like by me. I was garbage. You know, that's like the lowest thing you have to say, Dominic.
Trump has actually
No.
called
Excuse
the
me.
entire
Excuse
country
me.
garbage.
No.
He actually has many
Wait,
times.
excuse me. I'm talking. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So to say that they've been the last month, they've been telling 50% of this country that they're garbage, that they're Nazis, I haven't heard Trump say that to any of the people. He disagrees strongly, and I am not going to defend every word that Donald Trump says because that's stupid. I'm not voting for Donald Trump because he's the great orator and king or whatever. Something he says, I don't agree with the way he says things, but the truth of the matter, he gets things done in a way. And during his administration, he didn't lock up his political opponents. He didn't go seek Hillary and Clinton in jail when she administered. He didn't go out and say to somebody that made a joke that you should vote on November 6th that he's going to jail. He didn't put people like, he didn't go have the FBI go after parents because the parents disagreed with the way schools are run. I mean, these are things that they've done. They forced people to take vaccines that they didn't want to take. They shut down. They told. Wait, excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. One second, please. I appreciate it. So this is they told people on Facebook that they couldn't cover a story that he found to be true about the lab because it was Russian disinformation. Thank you. Maybe it's Twitter, whatever. That there was quote disinformation, so they couldn't cover the story, and it was a lie. We all know that the laptop came from Hunter Biden. So they are censoring free speech, and that's why a guy like Elon Musk, who's never been involved in politics at all, is so involved in it because freedom of speech is important. We're having a conversation here, but if Kamala becomes president, I'm worried that this conversation will be censored because it's too quote politically
I'm sorry.
incorrect.
Can I rebut to this, please?
Okay, you have 30 seconds.
Okay. Trump has literally said that he wants to take the licenses away from media companies. He wants to put the late night hosts in jail. He said that anybody essentially that disagrees with him is fake news and lying. I mean, the rhetoric is completely insane, bud. I mean, like, I know you said that you wouldn't vote for him because he's not an orator, but I mean, the guy lies like he breathes. And, like, if he's lying that much, then what are you actually voting for him? Because he doesn't, nothing you could actually stand by what he's saying.
Embassy in Jerusalem. We have one
We're done with
person.
this topic, and we are going to move on to.
Oh, I didn't finish my. He just asked me a question.
No, we're
I can't
going.
finish-
We're
I can't finish my
reaching
question.
No, because
ABC.
we're reaching into ad hominem on both of your parts, and we are going to move on to the next thing. Now, Bud, and I wanted to talk about systematic democracy. I believe is that part of what you were kind
Not
of.
really, but I guess so.
No, then I don't know what the heck you're saying. Then your your topic is stricken from the from the list, and we are going to move on to our very last topic of the night, unless there are any naysayers in the audience and the.
Well, I did. I told that that's it. But the idea of democracy, the idea of that Kamala Harris, nobody even voted for her. Nobody voted for her
I
to be
agree with
the.
that.
Wait a second.
I agree
Nobody
with that.
voted for her to be the nominee. It's such a weird thing. 21 million or whatever, millions of people
Oh.
voted for Joe. 20 million voted for Joe Biden to be the nominee, and he was forced out because he didn't do well in the debate. And they put her in to be the nominee, and it was so systematically undemocratic that it's so weird that we have this going on in this country. I can't imagine this happening. That they just took him out. They said basically you're going to be kicked out of the administration because the 25th amendment. They're going to go against him. I don't like it, Joe Biden, but it was so undemocratic that this happened in this country. It's so weird. It's such a weird thing. And but what you said earlier, if you don't mind, I really appreciate that. Yeah, there's talk, but President Trump was president for 4 years. Nobody was locked up. No one is locked up for the fake news continue. The CNN continue the garbage all the time. The fake news continues as wild as they wanted to do. People were not forced to take shots. None of this happened under the Trump administration. There was freedom to speak, and people rioted in Minnesota. They did all crazy stuff, but it was freedom to do what you want. And this administration locked up because your parents disagree with what's taught in the school. Or FBI goes against you because you don't agree with what your kids taught in your school. That they cancel people. There's so much canceling going on. What do we cancel? Let everyone talk. I want you to talk. I don't want you. If I'll tell you, if Trump becomes president and you're canceled, I will more than happy fight against that because freedom of speech is too important in this country. And not to have that is wrong. And
All
what
right.
happened?
On that note, we're going to move on to our very last topic, which kind of has a little bit to do with freedom of speech. And we're really going to test the limits of that right in this very second. So, we're going to talk about the 2020 election and conceding elections as well. So, we're going to start off, we're going to start off with Bud. And then we're going to go with Sam and his rebuttal. Okay. So, just to give you a refresh, Bud, Trump is noted as not conceding the election and the election results. He has said that.
I don't need to. I know the story.
You know the story? Okay. Just giving you a refresher.
No problem.
Millions
and millions of Americans people disagreed that the election was fair in 2020, including me. And I'll tell you one specific example. Why? Because, again, the laptop of Hunter Biden was a story that was concealed from the American people. And if they knew the facts, many people would have voted for Donald Trump. That's one example. Number two, the drop boxes that came in. They were never watched, and all the certificates came in. No, and number three, it's amazing how Biden did better in African-American communities than Barack Obama did. There's a lot of stories, a lot of things. And you know what? Maybe 90% of them are wrong, and maybe some of them are true. But people have the right to question. But the funny thing about it, the really funny thing, two things that are very funny about the election. When I went to sleep that night, Trump was leading all the 7 states. And Trump was leading, thank you, all 7 states. But when I went to bed, woke up the next morning, he was losing. It was a little weird. And it was weird that all of a sudden, all the media said, boom, Biden won, Biden won. They didn't want to question, there was nothing. So the thing is that there left a lot of questions in people's mind. Whether it's no election, even this election will be perfect. So already, we know for a fact, and this gentleman knows, probably he's, again, a very smart man, that in Michigan, a Chinese citizen has voted in the election. And they can't take it out because they don't know which side he voted on. So no matter what, we know that's happened. We know that sometimes dead people do vote, Joe. Even the Kennedy election, we know that happens. No election is perfect. It's happened.
Not true. Sorry, that's just not true.
No.
Thank you.
it's
Thank you.
left.
I appreciate that. There's no election, just like nothing in the world is perfect. To deny whether it's enough to upset the election is a different story. We don't know. But to say every election, what we should do is we should investigate it fully from both sides and see if we can perfect the system. Because as long as humans are involved, there will be mistakes.
Fantastic. I yield the time to Sam. Give your rebuttal. Thank you.
So much to rebut there. So, I mean, first, I don't know anybody who would have changed their vote depending on what was on Hunter Biden's laptop. Frankly, there was nothing really on Hunter Biden's laptop. When we look at Trump's 2020 election lie, Trump lost 60 court cases trying to claim widespread fraud. In 2022, 8 conservative legal experts published a report reviewing 64 different cases the Trump administration brought in 6 different swing states: Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. They found no evidence of provided by the Trump campaign of widespread voter fraud. Courts held hearings on the merits of 30 cases. 29 failed. Trump's allies of Trump, dismissed 14 of those cases. Courts also dismissed 20 cases before even hearing the merits simply because he had absolutely nothing to show them. In a report, Lost Not Stolen, made by those Republicans, concludes that these efforts failed due to a lack of evidence. Judges, legislators, and other election officials, often from Trump's own party, gave Trump ample time and opportunity to prove that he won. He didn't. He's lying. Recounts also failed. When you look at Fox News, they're lying to you. Fox News had to settle with Dominion Voting Systems almost $1 billion, $787.5 million they acknowledged in the court, proven that they had knowingly broadcasted false information about the 2020 election. They're lying to you, and they're paying it out their ass. And they just keep doing it, and you keep listening. You're being lied to, bud. And I'm trying to tell you that. And they're not giving you the news. You're in this little silo. We all are. We all are. When you sat there just a few minutes ago and you said that Kamala wasn't voted for and that the Democrats didn't really run a primary, frankly, you're totally right. The Democrats did a really shitty thing with that. That's why I don't claim to be a Democrat, right? I just lean left. They're not a great party either. Both parties have issues. But the Republicans are lying to you. They're lying to you every single day about almost every issue, about abortion, about immigration, about the 2020 election. They're lying, they're lying, they're lying. It comes out in every single court case. When Tucker Carlson is brought in court, do you know what he actually argues? Do you know what his lawyers actually argue in court? That he's an entertainment show. He's not actually news. You can't possibly take what he says seriously because it's entertainment. They can't even defend it as news because they know it's false. They're lying. You're being lied to.
Thank you for your insight. I would disagree with Sam, obviously. We have a little difference on this. I feel very strongly. Again, he says he doesn't know anybody that wouldn't take this laptop serious story. Or no. I may not know somebody does whatever. This doesn't make it a fact. That's preposterous if you want my question. Again, we don't know. I would say we don't know all the facts. I think every time you have an election, there's nothing wrong with investigating, with having committees that investigate all the facts to see whether the funny thing is going on. Whether, again, when you have a ballot box and no one's monitoring it, it's easy to come in. When you have names not taken off because people die, like my parents died, I probably could vote for them. They're not taking off the rolls. It's easy to do. I mean, there's so many ways that when you don't have a photo ID and it's just a signature, so we need to perfect the system. Is it a fact either way? No. I think there's things we have to make better on, and I'm not going to call anybody liars. It's just not the nature of who I am. I'm just going to tell that the system has to be better so that people feel comfortable in the system. And we've seen things change in this one.
Can I just address one point very quickly? Very quickly.
I'm going to give you guys closing statements.
It's not a closing statement. It's just something very quick to rebut to that.
But are you done?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Just very, very quickly. So I'm actually a poll worker this election. I'm going to be working at the polls. So you know very well then, right? It's not just a signature, right? They also have to sign up previously and register with all of their information including their house, their own ID, their government ID. I mean, this is not something that you just like sign up with a willy-nilly. I mean, like you actually have to provide a lot of evidence of who you are and what you're doing. You can't just sign up to be a voter. You have to be a citizen. There's so many steps than just your ID. I mean, you know that. You know that.
Just one sentence. That's all I have to say. And that's in response. Chinese citizen voted in the election with all the safeguards we had. That's all I have to say.
Vote.
Closing.
Obviously very consequential.
All right, so we're gonna do closing statements. We're gonna start with Sam's closing statement, and then we're gonna do Bud's closing statement, and then we're gonna shake hands like good little citizens.
No, I didn't agree. I didn't agree to shake hands. I'm kicking him.
Okay, then do what you want. Do what you want.
I mean, honestly, I brought all these cards. I actually didn't prepare a closing statement. But, I mean, look, what I'll say as a closing statement is I think the best way forward is to review empirical data that is not partisan. I think viewing from places like Pew Research, the FBI, the BJS, these type of organizations provide the real answers here. So if you're looking for the actual answers to any of the topics of tonight's debate, I would suggest looking at those organizations. I hope you vote on November 5th. I hope you vote blue, because I'm very, very scared of what a Trump America would look like, frankly. I am very confident that I could live through most Republican administrations without an issue. Trump is different. Trump poses a threat to me, my family, my friends. He poses immediate threat to the entire world. And he's dangerous as a national security issue, and he's frankly a traitor to this country. So, I mean, my opinion is kind of pretty set on that. But I hope any minds were changed, because he's awful.
Thank you, Bud's closing statement.
I'm not gonna get into the name calling. Kamala Harris to me is a very poor candidate. Whatever, I'm not gonna get into that, because what is most importantly is what's going on in your life. Is your life better off 4 years ago than it is today? If inflation's better, interest rates are better, crime is better, whatever he says with stats, is it better with the war? Are we having less wars? I think the answer is no. I think we had a much better life, all of us, 4 years ago. And because of that, I don't think it's any other choice to vote Trump. Yes, are the things he says a little silly once in a while? Yeah, but I'm not voting for a doctor who is going to make me feel good mentally, but is actually going to cure me. And I want a president that will fix it. And Donald J. Trump will fix it for all of us. Black, white, Jew, Christian, gay, straight. He doesn't care. He just wants this country great for you. He put his life on the line to do this. He was ready to go to jail to do this. He could walked away. Thank you. He could have walked away and went to Bahamas and Bermuda and had a nice life without any of this bullshit. He's the only president to lose money running for president. And for that reason alone, he deserves our vote and our confidence. Thank you. May God bless. May God bless all of us. Whether we vote for Kamala, we vote for Trump. May God bless us all. And maybe we can find peace and humanity together. Thank you.
With that, everybody's microphone is off. The debate has ended.
Thank
you very much.
My pleasure.
Pleasure.
Thank you.